Well, hello. You're now listening to the Black Bougie Brides featuring Kev podcast. How you doing, Kev?
I'm doing real good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It is Wednesday. These Wednesdays seem like they come fast, don't they?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, listen, we're about to get into it. Hi, Sharita. So we're about to just go ahead and jump right on into it. Hopefully, y'all seen Married at First Sight. If not, it's okay. I heard we spoil it for a lot of people, but it's all right. And then we've been able to help some people go ahead and start watching the show. So this is really nice. I think it's really dope. So we're just gonna go ahead and get all up in it. Hopefully Johnny's will be showing up pretty soon. Overall, Kevin, how did you feel? How did you feel tonight watching this show? How did you feel? I think it's getting it's interesting.
What does interesting mean today?
Yeah, because that's my word, right?
Yeah, because you always say
that. I honestly just feel that I still think it's something. What is it? Eric and Virginia, they are super toxic. That's what I walked away from. And then the dude, the 80s looking dude, I just feel like I've dealt with that spirit before, Kev. I just can't let it go. Like that you don't like me spirit, and you may like the person, but it's not going so well with them. For some reason, he really bothers me.
So when you say you've been in that situation before, are you meaning you have been the person who did not like the person, or you've been the person that the other person does not like?
No, I'm saying I have been where she is. I don't think it's necessary.
So you're Haley.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. Let me explain this. Okay. I don't think I'm necessarily a Haley.
I'm just talking about in that situation.
I feel like I've been where she's been, where things don't really rock with somebody. It doesn't really go well.
Well, let me ask you this. Why is she still in it?
I don't know why she's doing that. Like me personally, I don't know why she's doing it. I don't know why she's still trying to make it work. I know for me, and maybe it's good that she's still trying, but he's pushing her away at this point. He's pushing her away. Well, like he's pushing her away.
So, in terms of the scale on this relationship, Haley and Jacob, are you putting fault on him, or are you putting fault on her? What does it look like to you?
I feel like she's not attracted to him. So everybody, hey, how y'all doing? Come on in the comments. Let us know if you've ever dated somebody that hi Kim. Thank you. That's what I was thinking too. It's something not quite right with this bumblebee.
So y'all are thinking it's his fault. Because I'm gonna tell you, honestly, the more and more that I watch this, the more I'm not saying that he's not an ass, Kimberly.
Right. And we're not saying that it's
what
not
I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is he is not the problem in the relationship. I don't think it's him. And all these things that you have commented on, and that Haley has commented on about how he dresses is not a big deal. Like I see people that look like him all the time.
But it's about what you as a person are attracted to, right? So if those are the issues that she's having and it's so bad, why hasn't he just got up and left? He's almost making it miserable.
He's doing it. He's doing. Ain't that what he's doing on this episode?
He's
sick of her shit.
He has never gotten up and been like, I'm out. He always stays. He always stays. Like if she, like you asked, well, why is she still there? She could have been left too. He could have also gotten his
Well,
interesting tail up and left. He could
that's the
have left.
truth. That's the truth. Either of them could have left, but
Yeah.
I see more. I always see more effort on his part. And each episode that I watch, I like her less and less. I'm not
So what
saying
is
that I like him more, but I don't see what the big deal. Like he's pretty consistent throughout to me.
Hey Maurice.
It's her who is
So
not putting forth
so what is
the
he
effort.
doing? What is he doing that she's not doing? Because I, like I said, I've been there before where you see something that you're not necessarily a fan of, but you trying to push through. Now I do believe that there are some things she could have lightened up on. She could have compromised a little bit better. She could have kept his little bracelet or whatever. But there was something that
Why I
she
gotta be
asked
a
during
little
this.
bracelet?
I mean, well, for me, it looked like a little bracelet situation. It's a play on words. It's really not that big a deal for me. But she did bring up a good point. She said, well, what about the hat I got you? And he was like, well, that's just a baseball cap.
Well, he had it. So that shut her ass right on up. He had it. And the whole argument about the gift, yes, it was very I don't know, it was cringeworthy to me. I was just like, why are we talking about what it is? But to be honest, he put forth a lot more effort than she did. If she only paid $20 and he paid $800, that answers the question that you just asked me. Talking about what is he doing that she's not doing?
No, he bought that prior to them getting
Doesn't
married.
matter.
He bought that.
Doesn't
I mean,
matter.
but I'm asking you, what is it that he has done that we have seen on television?
We saw him give her the necklace.
Okay, he gave her a gift. She gave him a gift. So the next question is, what has he done? Now, I'm not saying she's done him right the whole entire time, but I'm asking you a solid of these last few episodes that I've seen. She's there, he's there. She's trying to have a regular conversation, and he is still caught up in his emotions. It's almost like they can't move past anything because he's stuck. He's stuck. He just is. I feel like I've just dated that before, where you try to work things out with people and they literally cannot get out of that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? They just can't get out of it.
But I just thought, going back to your question, why he hasn't left. If she the one who's not attracted to him, then she need to leave.
I think the door is open for both of them because he seems to be
the
so
door
upset.
is open, but if she is the one who has the problem, he's attracted to her. She's not attracted to him. She need to leave.
I honestly, I mean, that's your opinion. I honestly think the door is open. I honestly think the door is open for both of them because she tries to have regular conversations with him and he turns that shit around to where it's just, we back where we started. It's like, we back where we started. And I'm like, okay. Can we be happy somewhere? Like, he's still very much stuck. For example, the talk about the bracelet was their whole push for the entire episode. And I'm okay, thank you, girl. She called her mother and said, can you please send me the bracelet? Now, if she didn't really care about him, she'd have been like, listen, mama, just go on and keep that bracelet. Because I know I'd have been like, mail it back so I can hand it straight to him so I can be out.
You think that means that she cares about him? That she got the bracelet back that he keeps arguing with her about?
I don't think we can say if she cares or not because I see she even said it herself. That's why I probably was like, yeah, okay, you really pushing through. It's because she'd be like, I'd be out. I'd be gone. And I was like, okay, well, I see you on that part.
That's why I said, if she be gone, then bye. Like, what are you doing?
I agree. I agree. I totally agree. I think the door is open for both of them. I'm one of them people where if it's that bad, I will be out. I will be like, okay, baby, you clearly have your thoughts about this. And I feel like I've just dealt with that negativity before. Like, some people are always like, it's like a wedgie. They're okay with that thing being stuck. They're comfortable. And he is just, instead of him, they have counseling sessions. And he just it's like he's settled into it. He just can't quite, you know, move forward. I just think
He
it's
can't
petty
get
push.
past it, is what you feel.
He
He
can't,
can't
he
get past
can't, he can't. He can't. If you're gonna have counseling and you're gonna talk and you're gonna compromise, you're gonna work through it. And she clearly working through it in her own little special dingy way. But he's like, nah, I'm not. Okay. Hey Johnny's, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
Good.
Hi,
Okay.
Johnny's.
So
Hey,
I
Kevin.
I
What
like
I'm
y'all
your
going
talking
yellow.
about?
backwards. Thank you. Yeah,
What
that's what
y'all
I
up here
think,
talking
Jen.
about?
We're we started backwards. Let me see if I can share the
Okay.
screen. We're talking about one of our favorite little couples. Hmm. We're talking
Can
about
we call them a couple anymore? I feel
they
like it's over with now.
I,
For who?
I
Jacob and
mean,
Haley?
yeah,
Yes.
Jacob and Haley.
Yeah.
I just am like, okay, whatever.
Well, if Janice, what you miss is I was just telling Erica, to me, like, if what's her name? Haley. If Haley is so unattracted to Jacob and so not into him, then she need to just leave.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I
I feel
totally agree.
like the more and more that I watch the series, my opinion of him has not changed. He's pretty consistent, but to me, I start to not like Haley a little bit more each. And not that she's a bad person, but the issue is, to me, in my opinion, is clearly with her. She's not feeling him, and if she's not, she need to just leave. Like,
Right.
Well, I told
I
Kevin the door is open for both of them though. It's
right.
like they could be talking about ice cream with sprinkles, and he gonna be like, "Yeah, like them sprinkles that sparkle on that bracelet that I got." I mean, it's like a plane crash over and
Mm-hmm.
over. And I'm like,
Yeah,
if
they're not meant like even when they were out at the playing baseball. And I kind of agree with her when she was like, "Well, why you have those shoes on?" But I know it wasn't really about the shoes, but it's just a metaphor of like their relationship. Like he's just awkward. She, wants him. She wants to be attracted to him, but it seems like he just keep doing weird things to make himself not attractive. Like, he looked like, what are you doing out there? Like, are you going to a business meeting? Or are you going to, hit some T-balls? So I just think that was a great metaphor, like a great synopsis of like their relationship and how different they are. They're just too different, I believe.
yeah, I think it's it's just not gonna be okay, and he needs to be with a woman who is extremely um in tune with who he is, how he feels. I feel like that's anybody, right? But she has to kind of match that energy, um, be on the same page as him, vibe. Because when
What
they went
vibe
and
is he on though? Like I'm still trying to figure it
so
out.
I feel
listen,
like it's
he's
somebody
not
for
that bad.
everybody.
He's not
Kevin,
that
yes,
bad.
he is. He
Listen,
is
no,
that bad,
no,
Kevin.
no. I work. I
Mm,
know many of men like Jacob that are just like
mhm.
that. That live in
Kevin,
this where he's not. The word weird to me doesn't fit. It's people that are like that that
I,
live in this world today in 2021. It's people that are
Yeah,
like that.
it's him.
I
It's
think it's
Jacob.
okay. But Jacob
It's
is a
not just
strange
him.
bird. But he's gonna when I say this, it's no shade to him as a person. Now, when I joke about him looking like he don't shave his
It's
pubes
all
and
the
stuff like
shade to
that,
him.
it's all I meant every word that I said. He does look like that because you throw shade too. So I'm gonna have to come over there and rub your hand about this one because this one is affecting you. But he is strange, and I
He
have
is.
dated that type of strange before. And when you are that type of strange, when somebody step on your toe, it don't heal right. It really, really doesn't heal right. And it's almost like he just cannot move forward. And I feel like as an adult, the biggest level of growth is when you can sit down, talk to somebody, and y'all decide to move forward, and then you see change. You see people trying, versus I'ma just be mad. I have dealt with it, and that's all
Cause
I can
he
say.
keeps going back to the same fact, like oh, but you're not attracted to me, so this is not going to work. Like, so why are they? Why I
Why
say
y'all
like,
even
why y'all
trying?
still trying? Right.
Both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like for what?
And there's nothing wrong with being weird. Like one day I was going through the McDonald's for my kids, and Nicholas, he likes his chicken sandwich with just ketchup on it. And the guy in the drive-thru, he said, I thought I was the only weird person that like that. And I was like, no, you're not by yourself. You're not the only
I'm
weird person.
I'm
And I was
sorry. I'm
like,
sorry.
and
Ketchup, you say?
yes, ketchup on chicken. And I said, and if you were, what's wrong with being weird? There's nothing wrong with
It's
being
nothing
weird.
wrong with it.
You know what? I prefer a weird person. And I mean, there's worse, that you
It
can be
is.
than weird.
You could be
So,
Chris.
right. So there's nothing wrong with being weird. I
No,
just wanted to
it's
throw
I
that
nothing
just
out
wrong
don't
with
there.
it.
see what's so bad about it. Like,
I mean, it
It's
depends.
yeah, he has on dress shoes. So what?
He's just a
It's-
strange little bird.
yeah,
He's
that's
just
just
he's
is
just a
that so
strange.
strange bird.
strange? Is that so? He had shoes on. If he didn't have no shoes on, that would be
I
weird. That
mean,
would be
I just
strange.
yeah,
He
he's
had
just
shoes on. I was
but
like, it's
Kevin,
not a big deal. They are
it's
covering his feet.
and
Like,
that's your opinion. It's just that
Right.
I feel like he's a strange bird.
And
well, I
again,
guess
if
I'm
that's
strange. I don't wear
but
bowling shoes.
Kevin,
I go bowling and I don't put
what
the
if
bowling shoes
everywhere
on.
you went, she said that's his typical outfit. So everywhere he go, where they're dressing down, they're being comfortable. He's wearing jeans and these dress shoes. Stuff like that could be annoying after a while.
I
Like,
get that. I get that. But what I'm saying is I know people in real life who
Oh
dress
yeah,
like
we
that every day.
and guess
we
what?
know.
And I don't
If
call
they're
them strange.
married, their wife picked them and met them like that. So they already knew what they were getting into before
Well,
they married.
technically they picked
This
this because they
person,
knew they was going on married at first
no,
sight. So
but you didn't think you was gonna get a whole weirdo,
you sign up for whatever you get. You gonna get whatever you get.
No, but if you get what you get, but you don't
Right.
have to. It doesn't.
You don't have to like
You
it.
don't have to like it.
Right.
That's the whole
I
thing.
agree.
It's
She don't have to like it. I just don't understand. To me, it just doesn't seem like such a big deal. Like, my God,
Kevin
he has
is
shoes
stressing.
on.
I understand, Kevin, but this is just one of those situations where you feel like he's perfectly fine, and I have my own opinion, and like I said,
I feel like
when
he
you
is
say
who
it's
he
people,
is.
Listen, I think he should be whoever he is.
Right.
I think he should continue to wear dress shoes to the batting cage. I feel like he should wear neon draws with under all his clothes because
With a fanny pack.
That's what with a fanny pack. That's what makes him happy.
What
He
was
needs to
that?
make sure he finds a woman who would appreciate that. That's
Right.
all. That's all it means. Even when he does meet that woman that appreciates him, he needs to learn about forgiveness. I feel like he needs to learn about getting up and over stuff. Because what is he,
Right.
40?
That's what I was gonna say. To be 40, he doesn't behave like a 40-year-old. Like,
No.
you know what it reminds me of, guys? The 40-year-old version.
You think he's a virgin? Do we think he's a virgin?
No,
He
you know that
probably ain't
movie,
tapped
The
nothing in a
40-Year-Old
really
Virgin?
long time. Because he's so. I feel like when he probably finds someone he loves, he'll probably give them the world. The world. It's just he's got to have somebody who can really appreciate that. And I'm telling you, and when you say it's people like that in 2021, I know. Because I dated that. Damn, they wanted to jump off a bridge. It was terrible. So Chris and Paige, they're no longer being shown right now.
Thank Jesus.
But I know I'm gonna get a lot of shade because the social media I showed is when me and Kevin were talking about her wig last week. Johnny, did you?
Kevin was
Honey,
talking about her
it
wig.
It just
No,
looked
no.
like she took that wig out
I said
the
it was
package
the social
and
media.
It
that we
just
talked
threw it
about.
on her head, that wig. She just took it out the package and threw it out her head.
It was bad. Like that.
She thought it looked good. That's what it was. She got that thing straight
Mm-mm.
out of the package.
I'm gonna tell you what happened, y'all. She was running late. It was last minute, and she was like,
said,
"Let me
this
get this
shit
wig."
is fresh. It is straight
Out the package.
She
Right.
laid it on there.
Amazon
said, "Come on, let's do this interview."
Amazon just shipped it 2 hours before she put it on. Honey.
See, I ain't even say all that. You see? You see?
You said it last week.
All I'm gonna say is I think first of all, I think she is a beautiful person. But I also feel like production wants her to look any old kind of way. I said this last
No,
week, and
I
I'm gonna
think she
stick
just
to
come
it.
up there looking like that. Erica,
Thank
like,
you,
what
Janice.
they
That's what I
supposed to
see.
do?
Janice, we missed you last week. I said
So
she put that wig on her. You
let,
can't
Yeah,
let
blame
me
that
because
let
on
me tell
production.
you,
Bree be
I
coming through,
agree. I,
you
I
know.
I agree. But when we
Even
talk
Haley be coming
about
through too. Haley be looking cute too sometimes.
so here's my thing. When you are about to go live, they do a countdown. Okay? They do a countdown. The people that are in the room are usually the producers and a very key vital group of people, which maybe were eliminated due to the pandemic, is hair and makeup.
Maybe
And
they don't
usually,
have hair and makeup for
and
them.
that's what I said, it may have been eliminated. But the last thing you see happening before they hit the button is there is somebody doing the last minute, come on, let's get you together
Right.
type situation. Now everybody else, except for Virginia, she just a special little interesting bird too. But everybody else don't even have they don't have a hair out of place. But you see Paige,
I'm
and
I'm
I'm
still
like,
trying to figure
production,
out how's that production's fault. I don't.
production. Somebody in production knew that wig looked a mess. So that's why I
Right.
deep down
Well, they
inside
might not have
feel
no African Americans in there, no women. Because first of all, you know, most people who gonna pay attention to it's gonna be another American woman. So if they ain't have one of them in there, ain't nobody care about that wig. But
Why is it? Why is
Jesus.
it not Paige's responsibility to know what she looks like before
It's
going
it's
on?
definitely it's definitely Paige's
We're not
responsibility.
blaming production for this.
I
That
I
is
want
Paige's.
I tell her to Kevin. I give her slap on the wrist for
You're
wearing
not
her
giving
wig
it to
like
her
that on that
because
show.
you need to
I
get her
did.
more because
Mm-mm.
she is
I
right.
the one.
did.
She thought that thing looked good.
I don't think she even
And
thought that either.
y'all know what Brie did? Brie went and did the typical African American woman thing. She said, "Look,
Got
I don't
braids.
want to have to worry about my hair during while I'm filming. Let me go
Make it
and
some
get me
braids.
some braids so I can look cute every
Yes.
day, honey."
Yes. Like, come
She should have
on.
took that from Brie
Paige had the
Page.
dreadlocks at one point, right? Or the
She
braids or
Bye.
had the
something like that.
she had the faux locks. Yeah, she had the faux. But exactly. Thank you, Sharita. Because that look, well, not this way. Listen, I don't want to give Chris any type of credit because I think he's
What's
trash.com.
hashtag the face me? Is that like a new thing going?
Well, look, because he was saying she's not pretty in the face, and for me, I
Oh.
was like, okay, I'm not going to try to start up no drama,
So what
but
he was calling her? A
he
tip
was he,
drill.
he was saying that she wasn't pretty in the face at all.
Oh my
She's not a
goodness.
first
He
lady.
was just saying he
He
wasn't
said she not a
attracted to
first
her
lady.
face.
She's not a hot commodity.
Mm.
Johnny, you should have heard him. He was talking lit trash and was giggle here and there. My thing with him is, boo, you ain't even cute for real.
Right. He's
You are
not.
not. It's
He's not.
always the grizzly face looking ones that's always talking that cash money
And
trash.
look, he got a baby coming on the way. Look, I could talk about people. I'm done having kids, okay? So you better be careful what you say because your baby come out looking like
Looking a
Paige.
Wait a
mess.
minute, the baby is
You know,
real. Is the
We
baby
don't
really coming?
know. Oh
they
my
twins.
gosh. She
So
has
one
the
gonna come out
twins.
looking like Paige. You keep talking.
Whatever. I'm not feeling Chris anyway. Jeff, this is real. This is real. It's always, I feel like it's the people. And somebody told him he was fine for so many years. Or he
Mm,
probably told himself.
right.
And he just,
Oh,
I
that
mean,
baby mama told him that.
yeah, and he just feel like he is. I feel like you should have self-confidence. You should love yourself, all of that. But the way he went in on her, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'd have took him there.
But
I'd have
even
roasted
if he
him on
was
TV.
fine, the way he act would just make him all kinds of ugly.
Yeah, there you go, Sharita. But see, I don't even let dudes with money come at me crazy.
I want to know where
I
this
have
money
had
come
my
from because he just doesn't seem.
no.
I don't know. He seems skeptical. I would.
Yes.
I
If
don't
you
know.
not cute, you not cute. Now there's some people that would date you because you got money. Me, I value the importance of waking up in the morning, hugging you, being in love with your face, your mind, your spirit, your body, your drive. But
You
this,
said your face. He wasn't in
yeah.
love with her face.
Well,
So
he wasn't in love with her face. He should have told her from the giddy up and kept it moving. But he smashed her raw
I
over and
just told
over
you
and
what he
over
said.
again.
He said it ain't your face. What is that song,
It
Tip
must be
Drill?
your money because it must
No,
be your booty because it ain't your face. Is that what it was?
yeah,
It's been
that's
so
what it
long.
was.
But yeah, he not cute either, and he's severely buck tooth. That ain't for me.
Mm.
Anyhow, I'm not gonna shade tonight. I'm trying to be good.
You doing good, Erica.
Thank you,
is she?
thank you.
Johnny,
I'm
you done
doing
missed a lot.
fabulous. I'm doing fabulous tonight. Anywho, Eric in Virginia. Yo. Hmm.
So y'all know at one point I thought, okay, Erica Virginia, they was not gonna make it. I think now I'm on Eric page. I'm on Kevin page now. I
Yeah,
think they might.
they they believe.
I think they're gonna
Yeah,
say yes at
they
the end.
deserve each other. They deserve each other.
They're gonna kill each other.
I
That's
mean, that
it.
could happen too, but they still gonna be
Mm-hmm.
married. They're gonna be married at the end of
Yeah,
this.
I think they're gonna be married at the
Mm-hmm.
end.
I can say so y'all gotta keep some things in mind here, right? So next week it says we got one more week. So I need to check to make sure if next week is like the decision day because we need to get everybody's votes and everything like that for the event. But the week after they have the what is it called?
Reunion.
Yes, there you go. It's a long day. A reunion. So the reunion, that's when it's been some months. And that's when the rubber usually meet the road and some people. But I think Eric, even as this episode was ending today, they were doing pretty good the whole time until the end. It's just she's still a free spirit. She's still young and she just want to be in these streets. And he wants to be very much the controlling husband. And it's she gonna end up cheating on him because
She probably already cheated, honey. Out
You know
there
what?
on them
I don't
couches
think
and doing
that
them.
anymore. I don't think that anymore. Now that I've seen her little package about her childhood and growing up and blah, I feel like she is just a social person, and she wants to still be like a social single person, and it's not ready. She's definitely not ready to be
So
married
why
at
she
first
come on
sight.
Married at First Sight, right, Kevin?
I
Why?
don't know, but she's there, and I still feel like she's gonna end up married with him. She's still gonna be with him, but I just don't think that it's what she thought it was gonna be. She still wants to be a socialite, and is
Mm-hmm.
not really understanding that that's not what this is about.
right.
Right.
It's two different
So,
lifestyles we have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Two very different lifestyles that
She's
don't.
almost like Chris, but just the girl version.
It's. I feel like
that's
in
an
a relationship,
interesting way to look at it.
you have to respect each other's. Like I feel like when you decide you want to get married,
Mm-hmm.
you're bringing a piece of your life. They're bringing a piece of their life where you're merging your lives together, and you have to want to make it work. And it to me, it has to make sense too, right?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't seem like they're the type of people that can be together because
Mm-hmm.
he said it. He wants his marriage to look like the majority of marriages. He wants a
well,
certain type
see
of structure.
that
Mm-hmm.
statement right there made me kind of lean towards Virginia a little bit, because when when he was talking to Virginia's dad, the
Mm-hmm.
dad told him all marriages do not look the same.
Right. But that don't mean
So
that your marriage gotta look like trash either, just because of that.
I agreed with that, Johnny's, but all I'm saying is it don't have to be one specific way, and he's very rigid
He's
on.
traditional. He wants a traditional marriage. And I think we forget Eric came out of out of
A
a divorce.
divorce, yeah.
So he probably looking at all the things that happened his divorce that went wrong, and he's probably seeing like maybe a pattern with Virginia and his relationship, and he's like, "Look, I already went through this. in my previous marriage. I don't want to go through this in my second marriage, you know? And I think too, that's why he's trying really hard and he probably won't say no at the end that he want to keep her because he's probably thinking I don't want to fail again. I don't want another
Yeah.
failed marriage, you know. So I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of pressure on him. And I think because of that, that's probably why he's trying to control the situation. A lot of things that's coming out because he's been married before. You know, this would be his second marriage. Hey, they say the third time is the charm, Eric.
They
So
said that's what they
maybe
said.
this is not the end for you, you know.
Well, they gonna stay
I
married.
agree. I agree with Maurice. He said Eric and Virginia is going to end the show together, but going to split after the show. I am so convinced that's how it's going to be. You know,
And honestly, this
on.
is another couple that they just probably shouldn't have paired together.
We know you meant pursue, girl. It's all right. Well, he needs to heal. Listen. I think there is a lack of healing that happened amongst a lot of the people that's on this season, and I feel like for us in our 30s. We're seeing how important I know I am how important it is to get the healing before you join get into a relationship and want to know about yourself before you inflict certain things on other people that you haven't taken care of on your end.
Right. But
So,
also sometimes you can heal and you can go through a whole process, but certain people might bring things out of you that make you go back to your old
to
ways, you know.
away.
So again, they probably a couple that probably shouldn't have been paired. It just
Uh,
doesn't seem like a good match.
it doesn't. Just way too fiery.
Mm-hmm.
Just way too fiery. But Kevin seems to think they're just gonna.
They gonna make it work till death do us part. He's
All
gonna
right.
kill him.
And Sharita says he has baggage. I think they both, honey,
Honey,
they
both
both
got a
bring a
little
lot of
baggage.
baggage. Yes.
honey, and Jacob, throw his tail right up on in there too. Listen, I've dated that before. I've dated that before.
And also when Eric was talking to the dad even said, "Oh, this is the farthest that we ever seen her in a relationship." So
Yeah.
that's like okay, like that lets you know that's some red flags right there now.
Listen, Maurice.
No,
Where
I
you
changed
at,
my mind. I
Maurice?
don't think she wants to be a hoe anymore. I don't
Not
think that.
anymore. They say you
No,
can't turn
not
a hoe to a housewife.
I don't think she was a hoe before. I misjudged that maybe.
What did you
I
think
just feel
she
like she's
was?
I thought she
A
was a
party
hoe
girl.
before. Yeah, she's a
Oh, okay.
socialite. She just like to be, she like to be social.
She loves being social, and being a very social woman can be it can be a catastrophe if the man is super what's the word that I want to use?
Conservative? I don't know.
Like I feel like I've dealt with that before too, because I can be social, but I do know how to keep the boundaries. Like, you have guy friends, and I make sure, honey, we might
Insecure.
need to do
I
a
don't
whole
think you have to be
episode.
an insecure man and not want your wife to be sleeping on another man's couch.
Nah, I ain't.
don't-
I mean,
that's-
I'm not
she
okay
took
with
it
that.
all the
true.
way to the
That ain't
left.
okay.
That's
That's
know.
not
true.
okay.
That's true.
You know, Virginia was
But
kind of out
he
there.
is insecure. He is
He's
insecure though.
controlling, like Sharita said. He is insecure. Listen, we might have to do the next episode we record on that, because I feel like I would have to write all my stuff out so I don't drop no names or anything like that. But when a dude is insecure, you can't move to the left, you can't move to the right, you can't do nothing. He gonna search all your stuff. He gonna search through your house. It is too much, and he wants to put a grip on what you do. But then nobody's gripping on him. He doing what he want to do. That's how it usually goes down.
But also, I think Eric, even though we're saying he's controlling, I think Eric would have done very well with the older, mature lady, probably around his age,
Right.
Knows what she wants,
Right.
Maybe has her own career as well because he's
Yeah.
a pilot. And I think that probably would have brought the best out of him.
Right.
Put him with somebody that's almost, she's in her 20s, but behave like a teenager. That ain't gonna work. Because even when he was talking to the dad agreed with most of what he was saying until the end when he said, what a marriage should look like. And the dad said, no, well, all marriages are not the same,
I
but
agree with the dad. That's what turned me right there. I said,
right.
yeah, all of them don't look the same, and he's just
No.
very rigid on what he looks. You can call it traditional if you want, but
Mm-hmm.
y'all know, the two of you know that I am not with the status quo. I do what is working for me, not what everybody
Right.
else say is working
Mm-hmm.
for
But I
or
don't
what
think
you
he
should be
acts.
doing.
I don't think he acts for her for a lot. I just think he just wants her to not be out and about, all kinds of night and spending the night on men's couches. I mean, I
That's
don't
true.
think he's asked for something
And
that
she just wants a reason that it's gonna be okay for her to sleep on a man's
right,
couch every now and then. Because that's what she
right.
did when she was a socialite. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
And yay, listen, I do
And to
think he
live
needs
in
an
the
older
same
woman.
house. She want to live in one house. He's like, oh, I already, oh my, like the stuff to me that they have argued about is things that you would think somebody would come in a marriage and say, okay, this is like the basic stuff that you do in a marriage. You know,
Yeah,
would y'all not agree with that?
I
Or,
do agree.
oh, okay.
I just think they're a hot raggedy mess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to the next one. Ryan and Clara. I thought
yes.
I thought Clara would have got up and walked away this week. I just really thought she was gonna be just done with him. But I think real talk, I feel like he is not feeling her. Like he
He
don't
not
want to say it, but
he
her
not.
values and her beliefs are so different from his.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of him just saying this is how I feel, he's
Mm-hmm.
just sticking around, which
Mm-hmm.
It's
is just a
because what did I
disaster.
say last week? It's because to them it's a competition and they want to win. So even when they were in the counseling session tonight, when the lady asked them a question, you saw how they both looked at each other before they answered it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they
Like they
was
playing the
locking eyes
game.
like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we got to say what we rehearsed.
Right. And
It
you know
is
what,
a
Kevin?
mess.
When he was talking to the mama, right? I was like, Lord, this is the worst advice. What is this lady talking about? And she said that when she got married, she didn't go to church, but then when she had kids, she decided to go to church, and that Clara will probably do the same thing. So don't judge her on that or whatever. And he's hoping, oh well, that might happen. You cannot do that. Like you cannot, be in a marriage, or if you want to marry somebody, think that once you get married and once you have kids, that person's just going to magically change. Just because people do change, don't get me wrong, but you can't go into a marriage and hope, oh well, once we get married or once we have kids, this might, because if it doesn't, then what? You're gonna be
Is it
now married, now you're gonna have kids, and her ass
right?
still ain't going to church. So now what you gonna do?
Yeah,
What
I
do y'all
think
think
You
the
know?
biggest problem with the two of them is? What's the biggest issue in
I
that
think that
relationship?
is probably one of his biggest issues because he keeps bringing that up. I think the fact that she is not as religious. I think that he probably wanted to be paired with somebody that was just as religious as he was.
yeah.
I would think.
And would we call that being just equally yoked? Like certain things
Right.
just gotta make sense. Like you
Mm-hmm.
gotta see certain things on the same page in
Right.
order to try to make it work. You don't have to be the same person, but you at
Right.
least have the same values
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. And when he said it today, I was like, he thinks she a little heathen joint. And he
Mm-hmm.
don't want to have sex with her because
Right.
then she could get pregnant and then
Right.
have a baby. And then they
Right.
just have these split situations. So I
Right.
think instead of him just bossing up and telling her what the truth is, and
I
then
don't think it's
she
the Boston part, Erica. That's why I believe I agree with Kevin, where it's a competition. Like he doesn't want to give up because it's almost like, well, let me see how far this can go before
Right.
I gotta say, oh no, this
Them
is not gonna
cameras
work.
they create the pressure, and they don't want
Right.
none of them want to fail at it. So
Mm-hmm.
they want to just make it work
Because
no
I
matter what.
think I think he's been honest, with her. Like I've seen him be like brutally honest to her. Like I've seen him be like blunt with her. So I don't
Mhm.
think it's the fact that he doesn't have the balls just to say da 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 da, because I've seen him like be really upfront with her. I think that he, like what Kevin said, it's just like he's just waiting to the end. It's like, let's see how far we can get.
Listen, this is a strong accusation, Sharita. Because Jacob is and Ryan,
I agree with you, Sharita.
I agree with Sharita too.
Ryan
Yeah, I think he's more
I
weird than
think
Jacob.
Ryan is, because at least Jacob, he at least gonna tell you what's wrong.
You know what you got.
And over again. And Ryan is just sitting there like, oh,
Yeah.
just keep it to myself. And to me, I'm gonna keep it to myself. And I genuinely feel like those are little dangerous partners to have, because those be the main one when they finally tell you how they feel. All hell.
Just like I said last time, I think Ryan is more dangerous than Chris, because at least with Chris, we see what we get into. At least with Jacob, we can see what we get into. With Ryan, we're all like trying to guess what's wrong, but really we don't know.
Well, I have no
I think
idea.
Sharita meant weird as in the way he looks.
Oh.
Wait a minute, Sharita. Do you mean by the way he looks or the way he
acts?
Because I have a term for him, a name. I just haven't said it in a couple weeks, so I'll just keep it pushing.
You say it every week. You said
I
it
didn't
last
say it last week. I didn't say it last week. I didn't say he was an armadillo last week.
You did.
But anywho, Vincent and Brianna.
Okay, I'll tell you. Did you see that empanada that they was eating?
Did that get you all excited?
See, when I watch stuff, I'm always looking at stuff that you ain't really supposed to be paying attention to. So I'm looking at I'm like, that empanada right there probably is good. And it took her a long time to eat it too, so I could watch it in a lot of different frames.
You did. So what kind of empanada was it, Kev? What was inside?
I mean, her mouth wasn't really open when she was chewing, so I couldn't really see.
Okay.
Usually I'd be going all up in there and zooming in and doing this right here with the iPad to look at it.
All right, well,
it could have been a sweet one. It could have been one with meat. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
I have a empanada story. So when we first got to college, me and my best friend Chantel, we went and we did a weekend in New York with another Aggie. And we were like running, rushing to catch a train, but we were hungry. And he was like, all right, we're going to get these empanadas off the street corner. And we was like, oh, we're not eating this off the street, but we'll try one. So we got one. Wow, those things were so good. We were so mad at ourselves, honey. We was like, when can we go back and get more? Them things was
New York
right off,
pretty
those the real ones, right from New York. Yes.
I understand. And now that y'all talking about it, I gotta go up here and bite me a little something because I ain't had time to eat. She said both after he made those mustache curly cues like Pringles. Man, Sharita, that is disgusting. I'm sorry. Stuff like that just weird me out. I be like, ugh. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness.
It's just certain things that just creep me out. So I understand, Sharita. So Vincent and Brianna, I think they're cool. I think they're gonna make it. I didn't know that she had high blood pressure. And I'm pretty sure I was one of those people that initially thought when she said she had high blood pressure, I said, where? But some people are genetically disposed to these types of diseases and conditions. So to see her be so small and have this, because I think Monica is like that
Erica.
too.
I was going to say, it's good to see that because people automatically think, oh, just because you're big, you have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
All big people don't have high blood pressure.
We don't.
And all small people don't have low pressure. Well,
blood
average,
pressure,
normal blood pressure.
Everybody can have problems all across the board.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah. And it's so when she said it, I said, wow, that's tough. And so to be pregnant, I know one of the biggest things that my friends have really relayed to me is, girl, go ahead and lose that weight. So that's why I started working out really, really hard. Because they said, listen, when you're trying to have this baby, you want to take as much weight off of you as possible. Because you could just have that preeclampsia. And I had a lot of friends that were like, it was what is it, the the digestional diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving shots to them. So, I mean, it was
Mm.
like I had
Wow,
a
that's
multi.
bad. I'm a big
Yeah.
girl. I never had those experiences, honey. So it just all
Whew.
depends on your, family history. You might want to talk to your mom, see if she had any
Yeah.
issues like that with y'all. All of that play a big part. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I said, listen, so I'm gonna get myself together because I like to cook with a good butter and I like to make nice savory meals. So Sharita says Vincent scares her. His temper, he's up, he's down. I will be on eggshells. He is a little topsy turvy, toxy turvy. Yeah, Maurice, I'm planning on a baby. I don't have no husband, but I'm planning on a baby. Because I don't know. Somebody might be like, you know what? Hey, Andre. Listen, we didn't send an invite for tonight out. So you just called it. We appreciate you for coming. But no, I don't, I don't know if I'll be getting married in a year. And just in case I am, just in case somebody be like, Erica, I love you so much. I want to be with you. And we just connect like that.
Right.
I got to be
I know
prepared.
people who's been married and had a baby in a year, and they've been happily married for many of years. So that could definitely happen.
Oh, my cooking. I'm sorry, Andre. I got you.
Never know.
So what's the biggest issue with Vincent and Brianna?
If anything, like what Sharita said, Vincent, as long as he can maintain his anger, and then Brianna needs to learn how to compromise a little bit better.
Yes, she
Sounds like she
does.
don't compromise.
I was about to say,
Right.
you think
I
Vincent
was
is
like,
the issue? I think it's Brianna.
mm-hmm.
I think they both have
Both.
things about themselves, which is like a
I
normal
think it's more so
relationship.
Right.
Brianna.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think when I took notes on them too. I think they're good together, but separately. Like certain things, like when she was doing the dancing, and I was gonna ask y'all what y'all thought about this. So when she was doing it, she was talking about dancing, and she was saying like, she couldn't have, she probably couldn't make money doing that, and she became an engineer. And then at the end, she was saying, I just want us to raise our kids to do whatever they want to do. Girl, hell no. You want to raise your kids to be successful. And if they not the number one dancer in America, then they need to go to school for engineering. I'm sorry. And I mean, I understand that people want to, because they may have thought they made mistakes, but sometimes even when you think you made a mistake, it might not have been a mistake, because she could have went into dancing and be dirt poor with nothing right now, so I don't know. I didn't agree with that comment. I didn't agree with the fact that she was saying that our kids could be whatever, they want to be, because I really feel like you have to have realistic expectations for yourself, for your kids, and teach them to have realistic expectations too. Like she could have minored in dance, that's
Tiffany.
different. But
Listen, you know my story. Go ahead, Kevin, because my parents they were Johnnies. Okay.
I don't know if my parents were of the school of Johnny's too, but
right.
I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like I interpret that statement different. I mean, everyone, ideally the dream is that you can do whatever you want, but I know practically that is not possible, and I feel like if you raise your kids in a certain way and provide for them and make sure that they're smart, they'll understand that it's not gonna just come like that. That dreams that it don't work like that. I wish my parents.
I have friends. I mean, parents were doctors, all kinds of, and they just let them go choose whatever, and they're not, they can't find a job in their field, or they don't have a profession. They still, because they just said, go be whatever you want to be.
And my parents are watching this. I know they about they throwing socks and everything at the TV like, preach.
But I mean, I feel like it's certain things that you can minor in, but I think when you have a major, you definitely want to think about what's the outcome going to be when it's time to enter into the real world.
Okay. So before I went to A&T, like I did everything my parents told me to do. My parents are helicopter parents, like when I did track, excuse me, I was field. My brother was track part of it. I didn't want to throw shot put. It ended up being this big, huge thing for us in our family with me and my brother. Went on to do it until I went to college. And once I got to college, I say, I don't want that kind of life no more. But basketball, I was thrown into basketball. Big, huge deal for me and my brother. We ended up being really, really good at it. And it was cool. It was really, really cool. But I thought for many years that college was you go to major in something that you're really passionate about, because that's just kind of what my folks said until they heard me talking about majoring in fashion merchandise.
Did you just say you go to college to pay all that money for something you're passionate in, and you don't never do it until you get to college?
So I said I finally get to do what I would like to do.
That was high school. That was free class.
But see, I at that time I didn't do anything that I necessarily really wanted to do. I thought college was when you finally started to kind of make your own decisions about what you wanted. I was just they was like, you gonna play sports, you gonna do this, and I was like, so I thought I was going to do fashion merchandise, and my dad was like, listen here, you ain't going down to North Carolina.
I know that's
You're not going back down there to pay out of state. He said, when I was there, it was in state. Right. You out of state. And they were like, hold on, Erica, that's not a major that you make a sufficient amount of money. So let's think about what's coming in the future. Your aunt just finished engineering, so you need to go that route. And what helped me to stay in the major is I met Kevin and other amazing people, and we just locked in and helped each other through. Because I said, I'm gonna sign up for engineering, and then after about a semester or two, I'm going over to fashion merchandise. So I can totally relate to what you're saying. And
I was gonna say, I agree with Shakira about the cultivating the gift, but the gift don't come when you get to high school. Like if I see my child now around here designing clothes and cutting up sheets and stuff and doing the same thing in middle school and high school, I can say, oh, okay, maybe that is your niche. Maybe you do need to go to school for fashion, whatever, because from the
beginning, it doesn't just happen whenever they think in high school, this is what I want to be. I get that.
Because now you're investing, like I'm paying for my kids to go to school. So I'm going to need a return on that investment. And that return on that investment is that you're sufficient. So I ain't got to take care of your ass for the rest of your life. So
it's just,
you can go major in anything you want to if you want student loans and to pay for it for yourself. But if it's coming out of my pockets.
Well, technically, look, that's a whole nother conversation. Damn. But I do feel, so what I do when I do mentor the kids and go talk to children at different schools, like that high school, middle school, middle school is super, super important, but that freshman, sophomore year of high school is when you need to have this conversation. So I tell people all the time, I always wanted to be a model, but it was super, super, super far-fetched for me, when I was like 11 and 12, because there were no plus size models. The only person that I would like just truly go crazy over is Tyra Banks. And I would make sure I got the Victoria's Secret magazine so I could practice their poses and just imagine myself being, in my mind, I was going to be a plus size designer. I mean, all of that. I started putting that package together in my mind. And even when I was in college, not Victoria's Secret, Lane Bryant had a casting call. Lane Bryant had a casting call when I was in college. And I said, Daddy, please, I just want to go to this casting for Lane Bryant. And he said, that engineering degree about done. You need to focus on. He said, you focus on that engineering degree. When you get that degree, you do what you want. And I said, say less. So I went on and finished school. It was the best decision my parents helped me make. Met Kevin and a bunch of amazing other engineers. Came out, made my own money. And then when I started modeling, my parents are very, very true. My parents are wonderful. Let me just say that first of all. But they are very much it's about success. It's Black people. We have to do things a certain way to make it. So when I said I'm keeping my job, I'm keeping my job, but I'm gonna go start this modeling career too. My daddy was like, oh man, he was like, you need to focus on work, until we started going to New York and doing shows. I remember we had a show in Harlem with Ashley Stewart, and I never forget this. Like, I was so happy on the inside because by this time my mama was loving it because she was getting free clothes. And Daddy said, so if you just keep on working on yourself, you could be a powerhouse out here. And I was like, oh, oh my God, Daddy, you finally see what I see. So, now they're like, okay, whatever, you gotta go.
Erica, you know what? Shout out to your parents, honey, because they did something right. They got 3 successful children, honey. I just need to pick their brain, I'm trying to be like that.
I think you on the right
when
track.
I grow up,
you on the right track.
You are.
You on the right track.
You are. Let me just say with this whole conversation that I agree with what both of you said, but there just has to be a balance.
It does.
I agree with Sharita with saying cultivating their gifts. I appreciate my parents for recognizing the talents and gifts that I had, but to be honest with you, I just didn't feel like it was, and I don't blame my parents for this, but I just didn't feel like it was possible for me to be a creative and make a living doing that. So that's why I didn't pursue that when I was in college, because it just didn't seem like an option for me. And I wish that my parents did allow me to be creative. They allowed me to play around and do a lot of different things when I was younger. But I wish somebody would have told me at a younger age, yes, you can. It is possible to make. Because now I'm in my 30s and I'm seeing people who are doing it.
Well, it's not too late.
Okay, so what is your excuse now?
I'm sorry, excuse? I'm sorry?
Yeah, yes. What is your excuse? Because when I tell you I wanted to be a model since I was 11 years old, didn't see the example of it. My parents were like, no, this is what you gonna do. And I just stayed true to what I wanted. And every time it was like, keep your head straight. You gotta get this degree. You got it. And I said, cool. I was like, it ain't nothing but time, but sometimes it's not time, things could have happened, but you recognize there's certain things that you want to do. You just go do it. So once I got the opportunity, it's kind of funny. I was in my apartment in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's crazy. God worked this one out. So I was flipping through the channels and it was a local channel. It was fuzzy and it was staticky and it was Gwen DeVoe from Full Figure Fashion Week speaking. It was on a local channel. You could barely see it. I wrote down everything she said. I found out who she was. I followed her and I just started. That's how my modeling career started, was me catching that channel, because I was like, how do I meet people? Do I have to submit? And the very first casting I did was in New York with Full Figure Fashion Week. And that's where it all started. But now that you're an adult, we cannot blame our parents for what we did not do. It's all about, okay, adult, go do what you want to do. So when you work your job that that you're blessed to have, that's your cash cow. And you take that money and go start your dream at the exact same time. And if your dream ends up skyrocketing, you need to make a decision about the original cash cow. You know what I'm saying? So
it's not too late, Kevin. Basically,
it's never too late.
I haven't got there yet, but I will always remember it in part when my parents told me sometimes your timing is not what when you think it's supposed to happen is not when it's going to happen. Right. Sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do to get to do what you want to do.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Trust me. Listen.
And if I'm not anything but patient, I got the tattoo to prove it.
Yeah, but the question is, at this point, what would be holding you back? You know what I'm saying?
Everything's holding me back.
Okay, well,
there it is, Kodak Cav.
And you have a whole platform now. You know what I'm saying? You have a whole platform. So Tiffany says, as a high school teacher now, I love the time kids are currently in. So many opportunities. I tell them about the avenues, but tell them that they better be ready for the work. Listen, people be having dreams and aspirations. Right. They don't want to do the work.
Right.
That's the part I will never understand. Even
Because
having this
people don't tell them
podcast,
about the work.
it
They
is
don't see the work. All
Right.
they see is the final product. They
they
don't
see
see
the
the work to get there.
and
Mhm.
but even then to have this podcast, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. So people will be like, yeah, I want to have a podcast, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm like, listen, it looks cute and good and everything, but it's actually a lot of planning that goes into it, and it depends on how far you want to go. But people do see where they want to go, but they're if they're really serious about what they want, they'll understand that it'll be some long nights. It's gonna cost you some money, but if you are very serious about where you want to go and what you want to do, you're going to make the sacrifice. But if you're not willing to make the sacrifice, your success is only going to be as much as you put into it. So if you are just thinking about it, it ain't going nowhere.
Mhm.
If you are not willing to put in that, yes, everybody work all day. You work all day.
Yes.
But guess what? And you have sorority meetings. Ping me. I just got out of one and just jumped on here. And then after this, I'll probably tinker with something else. I dedicate my time now to make things work so I can chill later. It's costing me time, but my drive will pay off. So when
Mhm.
you talk about somebody who work, who plan, got other stuff going on, it's as much as you want it. You want it,
You
you
got to
go get it.
compartmentalize yourself.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
if you want it, you go get it. And if you
Right.
don't go get it, that means you ain't want it that bad.
Right.
Mhm.
You just didn't. So, if anything, I just need to go to bed earlier. I just need to go to bed earlier. Yeah, and it's a very small population that are the microwave group, the people that just pop, they just make it. But then the drawback of just popping and just make it, they don't appreciate the journey. They don't
Mhm.
appreciate it. And then when stuff starts going bad, they're like, oh, I'm failing, versus the people that climbed, that worked hard, that pushed. You can ride the wave a lot better. So your longevity and success, be it just being on the scene or with the financial part of it, it'll always work out because you know the ebb and flow of it, the good, the bad, all of that.
Right.
So
It's
What
about
did
savoring the
y'all?
dream.
This is another thing about Vincent and Breon. I was gonna ask you about
oh yeah,
the
we are talking about them.
the finance part, the financial part. I when they was going through their budget and she was naming all this stuff, I was
Now you talking
like,
about last week, right?
Yeah, that was
last week
week.
and kind of this week. She
Did
was
they talk
naming the
about it
stuff
this
last
week?
week, but they talked about it again this week. Yeah, they talked about it again this week. And she was just saying she wanted to be courted, and I understand that because this is not a typical marriage, so she hasn't been courted by him. They just got married at first sight, so they didn't really get the opportunity to go out, date, experience that life. So I understand that, but like you said, she doesn't really want to compromise much. I feel. I think that he's a little extreme, and I think she's a little extreme with her spending. I think he's a little extreme with wanting to save, and I think they really need to meet in like the middle. But spending $400 on clothes a month, every month, like that's
But
just
look at Erica. But their backgrounds though. When you watch this week's episode, did it start to make more sense to you about why they are the way they are individually?
Yeah, but that still don't make it
It doesn't make it
okay.
okay, but
Right.
do you understand where they're coming from?
Yeah, I
Like
do.
Bree, she, she used to being single and making the
Right.
type of money that and spending her money on what she wants to spend it on, and
Right.
she may not understand fully the concept of compromise.
And
She clearly doesn't
she
really
got
get
a
it.
sister. She got a sister too. And usually people who have siblings have a better concept of compromise time and money. But
Which one is she though? Which one is
I
she?
think she's older than that sister.
Oh, well, does she have
Yeah.
any other siblings?
But she
Is
might not
she
be the oldest.
She might
I
not
think
be the
she's
oldest.
older. I think she just has a sister. That's what I saw. Was just a sister. Maybe there's more, but I've only heard her reference or seen a sister. But I think she wants things the way she wants it, and unfortunately, she has to. For example, letting him sleep.
Right.
I ain't gonna mess with that man. If he want to
Let
sleep,
that
that's
man
fine.
sleep. Right.
That's
Honey,
cool.
They
That
better
I could
get
go
all the sleep they
shopping.
want to now. Because once
Go
you had
shopping while
kids,
he
you're gonna
sleep.
wish you was able to sleep.
I feel like,
Exacto.
am I the only one who feels like that argument is just like, is if
Stupid.
they say marriage is not even going to exist anymore?
I
Like
feel like
after,
it's stupid. I feel like
I
she
think
needs
it
to
is still
relax.
gonna exist because she's still gonna try to wake his ass up and the man tired.
I
do
think
you
she just
don't
needs
feel
to
like
let
when
it
they get
go.
married that they just automatically are just going to sync up and start getting
They're
together?
already married.
Well,
Mm-mm.
married, not the
No.
little
Like
play
Mary.
married that they are right now. Married,
Mm-mm.
married.
Yeah, yeah.
Once
Mm-mm.
the
I
camera
think it's
stop rolling,
stupid. I think it's stupid, and maybe, and the good thing about this is that it is televised for the world. Like
Right.
she's gonna see how petty this is. Like, yeah, I mean, it really is petty. Like I would be like, oh, he
why did
want to
she
sleep
say she
in, I'm gonna
wanted him
sleep
to
in
get up?
too. I mean, she could be like the kids, like what Johnny's saying. What we used to do as kids. You wake up early, go eat you some cereal, maybe walk the dog a little bit, then get back in bed, go to sleep with him, and then when he wake up, you fix
Right.
brunch.
Why did she
Mm-hmm.
say she wanted him to get up early? Is what I'm trying to figure
So
out.
Because
they
she
can
wake
eat
up
breakfast
early.
together or
Yeah, so they
something.
can
She
eat
want.
breakfast together.
Mm-hmm.
Because she be hungry at that time. Is that what it is? Because she can't
It's
just wait until he gets up.
She could
it's
get her little Nutri-Grain bar or something.
yes,
And then
yes.
when he get up, they can eat breakfast
They
together.
can
Like
eat
it's not that
brunch. They can
serious.
eat real food together.
Right.
They can eat a real meal together. Like she gotta figure
Y'all
she
gotta
gotta
think
be
about it.
smart.
She
But
probably be sitting in that bed. I don't know how long Vincent be sleeping, but she probably be sitting over there just looking at the ceiling like, oh my God, he's
but
still
some people like me and
going.
my husband does not require a lot of sleep. His brain is constantly moving or whatever. So it's already hard for him to go to sleep. With me, I'm not like that because I'm just
Mhm.
you know. And then he wakes up. If he wakes up, it's hard for him to go back to sleep. But he don't care if I'm asleep. It's okay because he know when I get up, I'm gonna start cooking. I'm gonna start dealing with the kids. I'm gonna be rested, and I'm going, and I'm gonna be doing everything I need to do. It's not that big a deal. You don't have
It's
to have the
really
same
not.
sleep pattern as
See,
your
this is how I
partner.
know that they're not married, because I remember
Right.
my parents telling me a story. My mom told me a story that when she used to, I think it was she was working some type of odd shift or something like that, and she would go
Mm-hmm.
sleep. And she said, when I used to wake up, your dad would just be sitting up there staring at me, and I would wake up and he'd be like, I'd be like, what are you doing? And he'd be like, I just wanted to watch you sleep. You just look so beautiful when you sleep.
Oh, that is
Oh, that's so
so
sweet.
beautiful. That is really nice.
That's a real marriage right there. They just
I
play
want my
marriage.
husband to
Right.
do that. And he should just go ahead and just, make me some toast with a little light spread of butter with some grits and some patty sausage, and he can bring it to the bed and we eat breakfast together in
You
the
forgot
morning
the butter.
while drinking
She said light butter.
simply apple. And then you know what? The way that I am on weekends, I ain't had this type of weekend in a long time where you eat and throw your ass right back in the bed and just
Right.
and be out.
Right.
I be up about 2
Erica's
o'clock.
husband need to bring her just a big bowl of butter and just
I don't need a big
A
bowl
big
of
bowl
butter.
of butter with a side of grits and toast.
yes, exactly.
But I agree with Tiffany. Like that,
Oh my
it could
gosh,
definitely
Sharita
be
said
her.
that's how I got my second child.
That could definitely be her time for herself. Like
Yes.
make that your time, your me time.
Yes.
You know,
Restless, y'all. I'm telling
right?
you, she be sitting in that bed looking at the ceiling, like looking at the clock, like, damn it, he's still asleep.
I mean,
Well, look,
she
if
don't
y'all
have a
can't eat
life.
breakfast together,
She
just eat lunch together.
she
Come
probably
on
be
Yeah,
now.
it's not a big
she
a
be
deal. She don't
flopping
have no
around in the
life.
bed. She probably be making little noises to try to wake him up. And he still be over there. She be angry.
She
She need a
probably using
life.
the bathroom all loud, cutting the
She
lights
she
off
need
and
a
all.
life. Cause I know I'd have been like, ooh, I could have a bathroom to myself. I could have a kitchen to myself. I could watch my shows in peace, cuddle up
Right.
on the couch, me and Tucker watch a little TV. I know I'd be all right. Ooh, child. Well, listen, we have addressed all of these crazy couples. It has been a pretty lackluster episode, but we are seeing the breakdowns really go down. I think we have one more week. Tiffany said, right, one of those petty morning people. I am not a morning person, so all of this conversation about getting up early, that would strike a fight between me and my spouse. I am Vincent in that regard. I'd be like, what are you doing? Why? Especially if we done been up all night too.
Right. But I know some people that go to bed at 8 o'clock and wake up at like 4:30,
Listen,
5 o'clock.
Well, she was like, he be on his phone.
And that's
That's why he
his
don't go to
business.
sleep.
That's what she mad about. That's what
Yeah,
she mad
that's what
about,
she.
Kevin.
Yeah,
That's what the
I
hell
was
she mad
wondering that.
about. That he
She
on
said,
that
I don't
phone
know
right
what he
before they
be
go to
doing in
bed.
that phone, but he
Right.
still be on it.
She was
And
like,
then
the
sometimes I
compromise would
get up
be
to
just get
pee and
off
I
the
look over
phone.
and he still be on the phone.
She
She
probably
trying
done
to
looked in
control
that
that phone
phone.
without being controlling.
Probably done
Mm,
looked in that phone too.
Honey,
If she
that's the
that
real issue.
if she is that high strung. Well, Janice, did you want to make an announcement? You know, your regular PSA about the
Yeah,
podcast.
so I don't know if y'all listened on Friday when we did the DMX. So
Mhm.
I made a song for the bougies. Stop, drop, go subscribe to Black Bougie Bras Future Cat.
You know, somebody gonna be judging us in the
I
comments.
love it. I love it, Janice.
No,
I
but for
love
real,
it.
y'all stop what you're doing. Share this right now. Go to Black Bougie Broads featuring Kev on all your podcast platforms. Go to YouTube, search Black Bougie Broads featuring Kev, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to Insta, go to Facebook. Well, we're on Facebook now. But go ahead, y'all. Go ahead and share. Sharing is
Yeah,
Wherever
caring.
podcasts are streamed, you can find
Stop,
us.
yeah.
drop, share Black Bougie Broads on the spot. Oh
Listen,
no, that's how the bougies roll.
hey, somebody gonna be like, "Oh,
Hey,
they really done lost it over their hand."
Love
I
it.
agree
Love
with
it.
you, Tiffany, 1000%, girl. So I'm gonna try to be a better bougie broad and post our recorded videos on YouTube. It's just every time I'm about to post, I'm like, dang, I gotta edit our videos a little bit up for YouTube. So if you ever wanted to see what we look like during the recording, sometimes I'll put them on social media, but we'll go ahead and push them to YouTube so y'all can check it out. So tomorrow will be a new episode. Kevin, what episode drops tomorrow?
Tomorrow is being best friends with the opposite sex.
mm.
Sounds a little spicy.
Or just having friends of the opposite sex
Mm.
While in a relationship
Mm.
or just in general.
while in
Oh,
a relationship.
oh,
Oh, so now that's something different.
that's a little spicy,
That's
honey.
going to Erica, Virginia over there.
Yeah, that's why I told you I'm leaning a little bit towards Virginia these because she's a social. I get that. She wants to be social. I get it.
Mm.
I spend the
So,
night over women's house
social
too,
and
but I'm not
single,
married.
social and single go together.
Listen, so y'all check it out tomorrow. The episode should be loaded and ready for you by 9 a.m. But if you subscribe to whatever podcast platform you like to listen to, we're there. And if you subscribe to the podcast, which is free, because I had somebody think it was not free, so I've had to relay that.
Oh, it's free
It's
99.
very much free.
No,
You'll
Free
this
see the
free, not
episode
even
pop up.
99.
99, just free.
Yeah. I know, Maurice. I know you ready to see the live recording, so I'll be good and try to start populating them so they won't be such a drag so far behind because we 3 weeks behind now. But y'all have an amazing night. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Maurice said he got 2 female best friends. Lord.
It
Hopefully
is
that's your wife
possible.
and your mama.
And
You're
your daughter.
welcome. Right.
Your mama will tell you I'm not one of your little friends.
But when you get older, you can be friends.
But y'all have an amazing night. Y'all be safe. You put y'all little mask on, get your little shot, not the Johnson and Johnson. Jesus.
Right. I
Okay?
got my last one today,
Ooh,
y'all.
How'd
Holly,
it go?
wait a minute. So you won't be 2 weeks clear by the time we go to Vegas. Lord,
It said 1 to 2 wears. So
I gotta
So
I'm
wear
in
that
my
that
means
I,
range.
one for her. That means
I
Right.
got to
one.
wear my good mask around
Right.
Janice. Y'all should
1
try
to
and take
2
me out.
wears.
All right. Well, y'all have a great night and I'll holler at y'all. Bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
y'all.